Okay, and welcome. If you're just noticing that the headlines don't match what today is, whoops. That's my mistake. I overlooked that a moment ago. We'll get that straightened out before the next show starts. Thank you, and we apologize for that. We are at 6:32 a.m. on this early Wednesday morning. That makes it, as Odie would say, hump day. Several stories that we're working on behind the scenes that we hadn't quite got all the information to that we hope to have here in just a little while that we'll be able to say more about. Stolen vehicles, possibly 2 in the area, one from Hickory and also possibly one from Meridian. Watch what you're doing. There's bad guys that want to grab your car while it's running. That's what goes on. We'll have some more information on all this coming up at the top of the hour. Make sure to join us for that. How do you feel? I hope well. Right now we're starting out this day at 41. We have a wind chill of 35 outside. Brr. It's definitely chilly, isn't it? It is to me anyway. Took me several hours yesterday to warm up. We've got all the details of what went on yesterday, plus coming up in just a moment, we're going to tell you what's shaping America this morning. What is happening outside your door, outside the state line of Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana. We'll tell you what's going on in the country here in just a moment, so well, you can plan your day. Let's go to Collinsville now. Let's get a good word to start the day.
Did you know the word gospel comes from the Greek word euangelion, which literally means good news? So the gospel is the good news that the Father sent His only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, to the world to save us from our sins, and that every person who believes on Him will not perish but have everlasting life. So that's indeed good news. But what makes the good news so good is when you understand how bad the bad news really is. Well, the Holy Spirit, through Apostle Paul, helps us to understand our disastrous situation without Christ. He writes in Ephesians 2, "And you were dead in your trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that's now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the body and the mind, and were by nature children of wrath like the rest of mankind." So did you hear how bad the bad news really is? You and I were born spiritually dead, which means to be spiritually separated from God, the giver of life. And in our deadness, we did what spiritually dead people do. We follow the devil and the fallen world around us. We do whatever our sinful flesh wants, and we're by birth and by action a child destined to experience the wrath of God. And there's nothing in us that can change that. Beloved, that's how bad the bad news is. Now, doesn't the good news sound much better? If you haven't turned from sin and trusted in Christ, I pray you will do that today before it's everlastingly too late. Don't let the bad news be the end of your story. Receive the good news of Jesus Christ. Change begins in you.
The Change Begins in You is brought to you in part by Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Companies, Mitchell Tire and Wrecker in Collinsville, Mowdy Cabinetry, and Parker Marketing Insurance Advisors. Welcome back. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and Odie and I were talking about a story that we're going to share with you here in just a few minutes at the top of the hour. Some of this stuff, you just, what's the word I'm looking for, Odie? You can't make it up?
Can't make it up.
You can't make it up. This will shock you.
Things that make you go,
It does make you go, We're going to share that with you at the top of the hour, so please don't miss out on that. Oh, have mercy. How are y'all doing? I see Mike Dallas. How are you today? Lamar? Kemper County at his best. Becky Vickers, good morning. Miss Joyce joining us from Philadelphia. Indiantown, Florida. Don Carney. A lot of folks down in Florida this morning. Bree, good morning. So glad to see each and every one of y'all. As we start today, let's look at what is being said as we start out. Just because you're the CEO, or I guess you could say the president of Harvard University, doesn't make you the smartest person in the world, is it, Odie? I don't think so.
No.
A billionaire named Bill Ackman is demanding that the president of Harvard resign immediately. Why? Because she's refused to say that genocide of the Jews is harassment. That goes against college code. She's not stepping up to the plate. And he's going, if you can't do this of students going after Jewish people, that she should not be president of the college. I think he's onto something here. Also, MIT. Sometimes, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes the smarter you are, the dumber you are. I heard that from a wise man wearing a pair of overalls one time, and I have to say he may have been correct there. We talked about this yesterday, and I did not realize the severity of it at the time. But Mississippi makes news this morning as an 11-year-old boy from Jones County has passed away from a hunting accident. His sister accidentally shot him while they were rabbit hunting. He has passed away from his injuries. I truly did not know that the injuries were that bad when we talked about it yesterday. I thought it was a little bird shot and everything would be okay. Didn't work out that way. Awful. 12-year-old sister accidentally did that. We pass condolences on the family members of this. Horrible, horrible. RFK Jr., as news starts coming out about this, I'm not sure how much will be made of this because I'm not sure how much of a threat he is as running for president, but RFK Jr. will run as an independent in the 24 presidential election. He is already putting out that, yes, I rode with Jeffrey Epstein, if I pronounced his name right. Said he's been on the jet there twice. And he also says that his wife, this is just, I don't know even how to say it other than just say what the headline says. My wife had a relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell. I will not add anything to that. I will let that just soak in. That's what's running for president. We have someone suing a police department. And you have to remember this. If you sign up for a job and they tell you that there is a dress code and you have to wear this, you have to wear your hair a certain way, and you don't like that, don't take the job. That's my opinion of this. We have a police officer saying that his religion was broken as he took the job and was forced to cut his hair. He had dreadlocks, and he feels that his religion has been broken because he had to cut them. You shouldn't have taken the job. That's the best I can tell you on that. It's Suzanne Summers, as we're finding out, her husband really giving way too much information that we want to really know, and I'll just leave it at this. She was buried in her hiking boots that he gave her. I won't even go into the headlines of why she was buried in that. It's a little too personal. Some things the American people just don't need to know there, hubby. He's 87, and he went way into too much detail. It makes you wonder, what do our kids think when someone tells things like this? It worries me. A little bit of a Joe in him or something. We find out now, have y'all watched all of this or seen the headlines yet that are breaking out of Texas this morning? From San Antonio to Austin. Over the course of 8 hours, a suspect has been arrested after 6 people were killed. He went on a shooting spree between the two towns. It took them 8 hours to get him, but they did in the end. 6 people have lost their lives because of someone who wasn't responsible. They take care of things like that in Texas. This worries me because the leader of this state could possibly run for president of the United States. I often look at California and scratch my head and go, what are they thinking? I used to think that. Now it's spread to other parts of the United States. We can't deny it. Liberalism or woke, maybe woke is the word. Maybe liberal is not the word, but woke is more the word for it. As we look to California, to where they are looking at fining businesses. Now again, a $500 fine will be put up if they do not sell toys, LGBT toys. They will be fined, I guess is the best way to put it. They'll be fined $500 if they don't sell them. If it's your store, should you not have the right to sell what you want? Should you not? How can you be forced to sell things? This is people that sell toys under a new they're calling it the woke Gavin Newsom law is what they're calling it. I'm worried. I really am. Yeah. What happened to the word freedom in America? Now, if you want to sell that, that's your business. But if you don't, doesn't that infringe on other rights? Yeah. We see how well it worked out for Target, don't we? in other parts of the United States. We also see that Portland public school teachers now will have to take gender identity and race into account before disciplining a child in school. What happened to if you'd done something wrong, you got in trouble, it didn't matter who you were? I'm just asking for a friend. This goes a step further in the same direction as I read you headlines that are happening this morning across America. Parents in Colorado are extremely upset. Their 11-year-old daughter was made on a school trip sleep in the same bed as a transgender child in the class. What's happening here? Wow. All of this coming from that west side of the United States. Biden says if he wasn't running, if Trump wasn't running for president, he probably wouldn't run either.
Yeah, right.
He likes being president. We all know that. Oh, have mercy. Donald Trump refuses at this point, and let me say this before I read this headline, that this is most likely pun intended on his part there. Donald Trump will not back away from saying that if he were elected, he would rule as a dictator. And what they're meaning by that is all the people that went after him, that he wouldn't get them his first day in office. He just kept mum on the subject when he was interviewed over it.
I think that's one thing that's going to get him elected.
Yeah, Odie's right. A lot of people want him to step up and go, now, why'd you do this? Liz Cheney, I hope this is going to be her campaign manager. Where is Kevin Costner since he's not going to be on the ranch there? She's thinking about running for president again. Anybody remember that shirt Kevin Costner was wearing, Liz for president? Maybe they can ride around together and he can be her campaign manager if she decides to do this. Odie, you and I got to check out a show that they're developing. It's anti-woke is what they're calling it. Megyn Kelly is going to be a voice on it. Roseanne Barr and Candace Owens will be voices. It's a cartoon-type show. I guess you'd call it similar to The Simpsons. That's going to be Mr. Burcham is the name of it. It's going to be anti-woke going against folks that it's just point blank what it is. We'll see if it's any good.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Yeah. We're better than those Ebert and what's them two guys that used to do that? Ebert and somebody with thumbs up, thumbs down. I can never remember their names. God bless them. Hey, Joyce Snow Godwin. U.S. Air Force has, as we lost the plane that went down, there was 5 on board. They recovered 3 bodies, 2 bodies still missing from our boys that went down in that plane. That was in Japan where that happened. They're still searching for them. Hopefully that'll be found before long. As each morning as I bring up all of this stuff that went on between Israel and Hamas, there's a group that sit back and almost want to act like that really didn't happen, that the whole thing was made up. People were hurt. People were murdered. People were raped. It even goes further in this as we start finding out the details of just the horror that went on. These people targeted women and cut their breast off while they were alive when they did this in Israel. That is just the beginning of what really went on there. Educate yourself before you start saying that something didn't happen. I send that to the world, and I hope you're listening on that. War is absolutely horrid to begin with. Things like this take it a notch further. We cannot stand by and let things like this happen in the world. Why? Because it will come to our doorstep if we don't. As a matter of fact, they're saying we should be very, very cautious of the terror threat of what has happened at the border. We have no idea what's in our country. I hear more and more every day. Be on alert, be on alert. Be cautious of what's here. We don't know. More coming up as we'll get into your forecast here in just a moment to get that day started. It's chilly. 41 right now. We got all the details next as we begin this.
Health Now is your locally owned medical equipment store. Every person's need is a little different, and they offer a little bit of everything from hospital beds, wheelchairs, reclining back wheelchairs, breathing treatments, CPAPs and supplies. They even have walkers, bath products, and oxygen. And the great thing about Health Now is they offer same-day service. They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and on call 24/7. Health Now Medical Equipment, where we treat our patients like family.
Sanders Gas, Sanders Air and Heat is your full-service propane supplier since 1946. We take pride in ensuring reliable, friendly service to our customers. We also provide safety tune-ups related to propane, air conditioning, and heating systems, keeping our community efficient and safe. I'm Chuck Sanders, and yes, we're local.
I'm back, aren't I? Let's get into taking a look at radar. We are showing this morning we do have some fog to our northwest. Well, we'll go out of state for that as we pull up radar this morning. We do show that we have, what's this, up by Fort Smith, Arkansas, up near Conway, Arkansas. A little bit of fog, not showing anything in the great state of Mississippi or Bama, all the way good through Georgia as well and up through the Carolinas. So it's looking good there. Let's get deeper into our forecast now.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
As we go back for our record highs, our record lows, we see that back in 51, it was 82 today. Whew. On the cold end of things, well, this is a long time ago. 1895, it was 19 degrees today. That makes me go burr. As we look at that forecast for today, it looks like we'll see 56 is the best we'll get out of that sunshine outside as we go north. Cooler if you live in Philadelphia. 54 is what we're seeing. Even a tad cooler than that up at Mississippi State in those areas. 52 back down the river. We'll see 55 in Hattiesburg on down toward the coast, warming up a little bit, 56 to 57. As we go to Bama, we do see that Birmingham cooler than us, 51. We should see 54 between there and Livingston, Alabama. Troy down around Dothan, we'll see 55 as you start heading down to southern Alabama. As we come across, this is what we're concerned about. We're going to be talking about Christmas parades here in just a little bit, and the threat of bad weather is already out. The Meridian area under a level 1 for Saturday night. So there's a chance, and most likely, that some of these Christmas parades could be pushed. We've already got a level 2 in Jackson, Mississippi. We're days out. This can push further east. What does this mean? Risk of severe weather, tornadic activity will be here throughout the evening hours on Saturday afternoon into Saturday night to watch this. Now, with anything, today is Wednesday. That's Saturday. Keep that in mind that all of this flip-flops and changes direction. Could get worse. It could back off. Whichever the case is, we'll be here to let you know as it gets closer. But heads up, be prepared as we get ready for severe weather headed our way this weekend, most likely on Saturday. Here's what we have across this as we look for the 10-day outlook. Cooler weather from West Texas all across, making its way to Louisiana and Mississippi and even over to Georgia a little bit. Our 7-day forecast calls for 54 to 55 today. We'll get down to 30 below freezing tonight. Somebody get another log for the fire. Electric blankets, I love them. It's just, and electric jackets too. 60 tomorrow, warming up a tad more. And by the weekend, when we start seeing this rain move in, we're going to get 69 Friday, 72 on Saturday. But look at this, 70% chance of thunderstorms. We're down to a 20% chance on Sunday and back to work on Monday with 0% chance, but a high of only 57. And we'll get down to the 30s again Monday night. And as we go closer, we haven't quite made it to Christmas Eve yet, but we'll go to December 20th. The 21st is the shortest day of the year, isn't it? Isn't that right?
Somewhere around there might be the
Seemed like I remember a poem about that. Looks like we'll see 60 there on the 13th. And as we get closer to Christmas, we're just averaging 50s during the daytime. Nighttime low should be mid to upper 30s. Again, I see no chance of snow or anything becoming a white Christmas. As bad as I want it, I just don't see it just yet. All right, let's talk about fishing. What do we do? Chet's paint body? Chet's ready to get you out there. As we look at today's forecast, a major time to fish is going on now through about 8:40 this morning. It just kicked off. If you're out there and it's dark and you're trying to see, it's good. Your next major time will be after dark. We got a minor chance this afternoon, say 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's minor if you're fishing. Let's check out what's happening on the hunting side as we go to Collinsville Meets. Our first major time kicked off at 6 and we'll run to about 8. About an hour difference in between it and the fishing time. Your second major time, again, after dark at 6 o'clock. You've got a minor time right around 12:30 to around 2 o'clock. And again, minor. The wind's going to be north around 10 miles an hour, but oh boy, gust of about 20 miles an hour. Get your scent out there. Not so hot, is it? Not good at all, either on fishing or when it comes to that. We are setting, 6:50 coming up in just a second. We'll have this ready for you to roll. We're going to be kicking off the morning show. Won't you join us? We'll go live at 7. We want you to be a part of it. Scotty Ray and Odie is coming your way in moments.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners.